thank you so much for joining. In this video, I would like to show you how an investment life cycle of an alternative investment fund usually looks like. In general, alternative investment funds, they involve longer life cycles. So we talk usually about 10 years, and the life cycle can be expressed into 3 distinct periods. So let's get started. Let's assume we have the years on the x-axis, and then we have return and cash flow on the y-axis. Then what usually happens, you have 3 phases. First phase, second phase, and then the last one is a bit longer. So the first phase is capital commitment. That's where the investors, the limited partners, basically provide their capital to be invested. That's where the fund is generated. And what happens is, I come to this, second phase, capital deployment. That's then where the committed capital is used and deployed. So this is where the fund's money is invested into a variety of underlying investments. So that's why we call it deployment phase. And then last phase is capital distribution. This is where the return, hopefully the positive return of those investments, is then redistributed to the investors, to the limited partners. And what happens if we look at the cash flow side? Once a capital is committed, the fund starts to deploy and invest and use the money. So there is cash that is invested. Usually most cash is invested here in the deployment phase. That's why we call it employment phase. But depending on the investment opportunities, it can happen a bit later as well. Yeah, so this is basically our cash outflow, because this is where initially money is invested, and then after the money generates, hopefully, or the investment hopefully generates some return, then we see at a certain point in time that, just to make the years even, so then we see here our cash inflow. Yeah, and you see there's a slight time delay from initial investment, cash outflow, to cash inflow. And then what you see, the underlying return curve goes something like, starts negative and then starts something like this. This is then the return. For sure, changes based on the timing of those cash flows, cash outflows, cash inflows. We call this J curve. And this is usually the distribution of the return for investors. Yeah, I will make another video where I go into more detail about each phase and also how to calculate the underlying return. But just to give you an idea how the general investment life cycle looks like for alternative investment funds. Thank you so much for listening. See you in another video. Bye bye.